Poor teacher helped a crying girl after school, unaware his father was a CEO who'd lost his wife. The rain fell like tears from heaven that Tuesday evening, each drop hammering against the classroom windows as if the sky itself was mourning. Marcus Chen sat at his worn desk, grading papers under the flickering fluorescent light, when he heard it, a sound so small and broken it nearly disappeared beneath the storm. Soft sobs echoed from the hallway, the kind that came from a child who'd learned that crying loudly only made things worse. He looked up from the stack of math tests, his heart immediately tightening, and knew without question that he couldn't ignore it. If this story touches your heart, please hit that like button, drop a comment below sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to Kindness Pulse for more inspiring stories that remind us of the goodness that still exists in this world. Marcus rose from his chair and stepped into the dimly lit corridor. There, huddled against a row of dented lockers like a small bird caught in a storm, was Emma Rodriguez, a 7-year-old from his second-grade class. Her pink backpack lay forgotten beside her, and her tiny shoulders shook with the weight of whatever sorrow had found her young heart. Her uniform was soaked through, suggesting she'd been sitting there long enough for the leak in the ceiling to find her. "Emma," he said softly, crouching down to her level. "What's wrong, sweetheart? Why are you still here? School ended an hour ago." The little girl looked up at him with eyes swollen from crying and whispered in a voice barely audible above the rain. "My daddy forgot to pick me up again. He forgets a lot now. Ever since Mommy went to heaven." Marcus's heart broke. He knew Emma's situation, single father, recently widowed, struggling to keep everything together. "Let me call him," Marcus said gently, pulling out his cracked cell phone. "And while we wait, how about we dry you off and find something warm to drink?" As they walked together through the empty school halls, Emma's small hand found his, and Marcus felt the sacred responsibility of being the adult a child turned to in their moment of need. He called the number on file, listening to it ring and ring before going to voicemail. He called again and again, each unanswered ring amplifying his concern. He wrapped Emma in his own threadbare jacket and made her hot chocolate in the teacher's lounge. They sat together and he did what he did best. He listened, he cared, and he made a child feel like she mattered. "My daddy cries at night," Emma confided, her small hands wrapped around the mug. "He works so much now, Mr. Chen. He says he has to pay for things. But I just want him to be home. I just want him to remember to pick me up." The rawness of her honesty made Marcus's eyes burn with unshed tears. He thought of his own father, David Chen, CEO of Chen Industries, who'd never understood why his son would choose teaching over joining the family business. 2 hours passed with no response from Emma's father. Marcus made a decision that could cost him professionally but felt right. He would take Emma home with him, keep her safe, and keep trying to reach her father.
"Emma," he said gently, "how would you like to come to my apartment for a bit?"
"We'll keep trying your dad and I'll make us some dinner." Emma's worried face softened into hope, and she nodded. They drove through rain-slicked streets in Marcus's ancient Honda, the check engine light glowing persistently. His apartment was humble, small, old furniture mostly second-hand, but it was clean, warm, and filled with books. He made grilled cheese sandwiches while Emma sat at his tiny kitchen table, and for a moment, Marcus understood with crystal clarity why he'd chosen this path. This mattered more than money, more than his father's approval. He was caring for a grieving child who needed someone to show up for her. Just as Marcus was clearing the plates, his phone rang. Emma's father, finally. "Hello, this is Marcus Chen, Emma's teacher," he answered. Before he could finish, a panicked voice interrupted. "Oh God, thank God, Mr. Chen, I'm so sorry. I'm at the school now. I've been searching everywhere. I called the police. I got caught in a meeting, then there was an accident on the highway, my phone died, and when I got to school she was gone." "She's safe," Marcus said firmly. "She's with me and she's safe." He gave his address, and within 20 minutes there was desperate pounding on his door. Marcus opened it to find a man in an expensive suit, rumpled and rain-soaked, his face carved with worry and grief. The man pushed past him urgently, and when he saw Emma, something in him collapsed. "Daddy!" Emma launched herself into her father's arms, and the man caught her, holding her like she was the only thing anchoring him to earth. "I'm sorry, baby girl, I'm so sorry," he kept repeating, his body shaking with sobs. "I'm sorry I forgot. I'm sorry I've been working so much. I'm sorry Mommy's gone and I don't know how to do this without her. After the storm of emotion passed, Emma's father looked up at Marcus with reddened eyes. Thank you, he said, his voice rough. Thank you for taking care of her, for keeping her safe. He extended a trembling hand. I'm William Rodriguez. I run Rodriguez Technology Solutions. I've been so consumed with work, trying to save the company, trying to provide for Emma, that I've been failing at being her father. Marcus Chen, he replied. I'm just Emma's teacher. They talked then, two men from different worlds finding common ground. William explained how he'd been drowning since his wife's death, how he'd thrown himself into work because it was the only place grief didn't suffocate him. Marcus listened, offering no platitudes, just presence and the assurance that asking for help wasn't failure. I need to change things, William said finally, looking at his sleeping daughter. I need to be present. I just don't know how to do both. Marcus thought about his own father who'd built an empire but missed every school play. Maybe start by picking her up on time, Marcus suggested gently. Set boundaries at work. Get help, a therapist, a grief counselor. Accept that you don't have to be perfect, you just have to show up. As William prepared to leave carrying Emma, he paused. What can I do to thank you? Money? A donation to the school? But Marcus shook his head. Just be there for Emma. That's all the thanks I need. Show up for her. Be present. Love her out loud so she never has to doubt it. Before we reach the end, if this tale moved you, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Kindness Pulse. Every subscription helps us create more content celebrating compassion. Marcus returned to his empty apartment, feeling not loneliness but peace. He'd done exactly what he was meant to do. His choice to teach despite poverty and his father's disapproval had been validated in the most profound way. Later, his phone buzzed. This is William Rodriguez. I meant what I said about wanting to help. Not just you, but the school, the kids, all of it. Thank you for reminding me what actually matters. 3 months later, Marcus stood watching Emma laugh with friends during lunch, her smile bright and genuine. William had kept his word, becoming not just a donor but an active presence in Emma's life and the school community. And Marcus had finally received a call from his own father, David Chen, asking to meet, not to lecture but to understand. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give isn't money or status, but simply showing up when someone needs us most. Because in the end, kindness doesn't count the cost, it just answers the call.